Okay, so if you want to build one of these 3D scroll animation hero sections, here's how I actually do it. And honestly, it's way simpler than it looks. If you use this custom created Claude skill, so step one, you
Okay. So, our topic for today is triggers, cognitive hijacks, and the tactical pause. So, whenever we are talking about high stakes decision making, and at the senior leadership level, there are a lot of pressures. How do we navigate through those pressures? Okay. So, what is the chemistry of the hijack? What happens when that hijack happens? So, when a leader is blindsided, when does that happen? Whenever there is an unexpected, some regulatory hurdle happens, or a predatory short seller report, or a business that failed. So, brain undergoes an amygdala hijack. Have you or any of you heard about what is amygdala? No one? Okay. So what happens? The brain we have, in behind our forehead is our
Frontal,
prefrontal
frontal.
cortex. And along the side there is a amygdala. So what happens whenever there are, some difficult moments, immediately the mind becomes, vulnerable, and there is a cortisol and adrenaline, which are the two hormones. They flood our systems. And when that happens, what happens? When the blood flow to this prefrontal cortex is stopped, then what happens? If your prefrontal cortex is blinded, then what would happen? This is the seat where all the strategic visioning, the long term planning, risk calculation happens. So, if there is a blood flow is cut, then it stops functioning properly. What is the cost attached? So, when a leader in that hijack state, he optimizes for immediate defense or attack. So what happens immediately somebody says you something, you are in that amygdala attack and you start making defensive statements, trying to protect your own self, and you just cut off from the outside world. That happens. So if I were to ask a question, can anyone recall a moment where they knew in hindsight that they were in that state? You feel just clouded by that surge of emotions and you are just blindsided. Just recall if you're able to recall. So same thing that we talked about, that when the brain is under pressure, what's happening in the prefrontal cortex, which is the seat of all long term strategic vision, complex risk calculation, empathy, and social awareness. measured data driven decisions that we talked about, that this is our strategic command center. It moves into fight or flight mode. So it detects an immediate threat response. It takes a defensive or aggressive position. The vision is tunneled. You cannot think, 360 degree. And emotional and reactive decision making happens. We talked about executive pause, 2 to 4 seconds. So, what it acts as? It acts as an internal circuit breaker. Circuit breaker means if you are in that stress mode, it just acts as a break. And what it does, it overrides the physical and emotional reactivity under intense pressure. So, what you have to do? Recognize. Firstly, understand that yes, I am under this attack. You calibrate yourself. We'll talk about how we calibrate. There is a tactical breathing. There are multiple tactical breathing, but here we are going to learn one or two. And then respond. Deliver a measured decision. So how do you recognize the physical tell? पता कैसे चलेगा कि yes, we are under attack? So heart rate rises. Sudden racing pulse signal. What that happens? Because adrenaline activation happens. Your jaws begins to tighten. Sometimes, just to feel that, body is bracing for conflict. And then there is a shallow breath. At that time, if you really look at, you will find that there is a shallow breath. The breath is not going up to the navel, it's just at the chest level. So, if from these three, just try to recognize which is your signal. Each one will have a different signal, or it can be a combination of a few signals. So, we'll talk about the calibrate. How do we calibrate? If such things you observe, how do you calibrate? So, it can be a deep breathing. One breath I taught you earlier. Breathe in from the base of the spine to the top of your head. So, that one thing you can do. Or there is a box breathing technique. How does that box breathing happens? When you inhale, like breathe in, 2, 3, 4. In your mind, you have to count. Then you hold 2, 3, 4. Then you breathe out 2, 3, 4. And then hold 2, 3, 4. Let's all do it together. It's clear how to do? Yeah. So start with me. Breathe in 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. So just one box breath is enough. And nobody is going to give you a count there. So what you have to do, just sit. Just now do it along with me. Just observe the state of your mind. What's happening? So just doing this box breathing without announcing, without telling anyone in your own space, it changes the entire chemistry of the hormones in the body. And hence, the outputs happen. What is the key question? It's very important to always remember this key question. If I react the way I want to right now, so you feel defensive, you want to break people, you want to just shout at them, say, what is the nonsense? What is it that, you are trying to bring out? You are just trying to cut me. But if you say all those sentences, what happens? What is the cost to the business 6 months from now? These are the things if you are a CXO. Okay. Then what happens? You have to respond, not react. with a strategic intent. What is that? Deliberately choose a response. ठीक है ना? Rather than, which is a long-term response, rather than short-term emotional relief. Like reactive response would be defensive statements, alienating board members, shutting down internal feedback, optimizing for ego. Like yesterday we did, I am ready, I am standing here to take your feedback, to bring about all the alternative views so that we are able to look at our blind spots. Are you open for discussion or not? Strategic response would be, as I said, we can say that statement or acknowledge the challenge calmly. If you feel you are right, there may be points where you are right, but still people may try to cut you. Then redirect to data and evidence. Always invite constructive dialogue. What's the goal? Protect long term shareholder value. The goal is not about, that we have to suppress emotion. It's choosing where you want to direct your energy. It just brought out one example, a case, small case. So during a quarterly earnings call, an activist investor aggressively challenges your capital allocation strategy, implying that you are not in touch with the market realities. So what would be your natural response? To fiercely defend your track record. But we have to apply the executive pause, recognize, see what is happening in the body. Is it a shallow breath, a tight jaw, a racing pulse? Calibrate yourself. Take a box breath or take a deep breath from the base of the spine to the top of the head. Anchor your voice. Then you have to respond, not react. Pivot to the strength with composure and data. And I appreciate the focus on our capital structure. Let's look at the data and look at the ROIC, return on invested capital, what the trends show, why this option that we have chosen yields the highest long term valuation. Prove it with data. So, this I just brought out a worksheet for you guys. Reflect on your personal patterns under pressure. Complete, with honesty each section. What are your top 3 physical signals when stress begins to rise? Number 2, calibrate yourself. What grounding techniques works best for you? What's your personal circuit breaker? Think about the long breath, the box breath. So what works best for you? Then recall a recent high pressure moment. What did you do? What would a strategic response means? How you defended your point? And what is it that you would like to change? So takeaways, the amygdala hijack is a biological thing. It happens. It's not a character flaw. So it is happening with every leader. And under pressure, anyone is susceptible. So just take an executive pass, calibrate. Firstly, recognize my emotion. I am feeling frustrated, I am irritated, my shallow breath is there, my jaw is tightened, or I'm just feeling compressed. It's a trainable skill. Practice builds the neural pathways. 6 seconds, it is said that it's all it takes to shift from survival mode to strategic command. And if you skip that, this pause lasts months. The highest performing leaders, they do not suppress the emotion. They channelize it, they redirect it towards the long term emotional value, which is very important. So, when your next high stakes moment is coming, will you react or will you pause? You have to just take care of that. Okay, so now let's come to the question answer. Hi, Rajesh. Yeah, so what
Hi,
are the
madam.
questions? Hi. Yeah. Any questions?
Rather than questions, I think it's I mean, I'm trying to assess some of those things, right? Um, yeah, one is the immediate thing that happened, right? I had an interview for the jury, and uh, I mean, I'm not sure how it went, but there is a AI that was also part of the interview. So it has captured a score. I mean, so basically, there was one probing question again and again, right? I started off as I am a transformation leader, and I have brought in transformation for multiple accounts. So he constantly probed that question, what do you mean by transformation? I mean, I gave the example, and not the example, actual view of my thought process as to what transformation is about and how I brought in. But he kept on probing the same question again and again. I'm not sure whether I was able to answer to his question effectively or what. So at some point, I got a bit, uh, what I would say, there was an uneasiness, right? I could recall that maybe I should have kept the calm so that I could have thought through, like, what he's expecting. But
Yes.
even I gave him the instance of how I did the transformation, what are the benefits to the end customer, and I just did analysis. Maybe I
So
should have
whenever we
spoken
talk of
about.
any transformation, Rajesh, so the expectation is the change of the state before and after. So, like, I'll just take an example, a transformation that we did, digital transformation of procurement function. So earlier we had, distributed and fragmented systems, like for taking out RFP, for NFA tool, we had separate, and there was no, synchronization between various systems. But when we went for the digital transformation, we had few tangible things which were done. Number one, it integrated all the systems from PR to pay. Number two, it led to the reduction in the turnaround time from 55 days to 30 days. Number three, we were able to consolidate various packages and it led to an additional savings. Number four, now we used an integrated platform on which catalogs were a part of the Ariba platform only. So we developed multiple catalogs through which users could do their own buying and we could release the buyer bandwidth and we saved on the efficiencies because those buyers were now ready to take up additional roles, additional
Mhm.
responsibilities, additional purchase request. So when our people left, we did not hire more people, and with lower people, like we started with a strength of 154 and later on we shrunk it to 126. So when we talk
Mhm.
about transformation, we have to talk tangibles firstly and then intangibly, that it gave us the visibility of the dashboards. Whatever we wanted to see, everything was available. We could pull out any kind of a report, whatever we wanted. And
Mhm.
then the team, even if a person was not there, everything being on the system, there was more transparency and visibility. So, whenever we talk of any transformation, I don't know how your transformation was structured, but then it's always a comparison of, pre and post era.
Mhm. Yeah, so I try to bring in that flavor itself because I quoted in my experience in terms of how the digital transformation happened for Pfizer, which is a fintech client, right, from the legacy system back to involving technology which enables the speed and accessibility, bringing in mobile flavor of implementation, etc. But somehow he was not convinced, I think. So can I share my screen? I can show you I mean, if others don't have any questions or.
Let me give you.
Just hold for a while, Rajesh. We'll just
Yeah,
take
yeah,
questions if anybody
sure.
has, then we can
Yeah,
move this on. Your
sure,
way.
sure. And yeah, on that question that you had about
Rajesh,
this
was
today's
the
session.
question was only about the comparing the work of transformation, or was it how are you a transformational leader?
No, no. His question was more like, everyone says transformation. I mean, he came from the view that transformation, I mean, he wanted to know like what I meant by transformation or how it helped the organization. I mean, that was his question. That's what I understood. But
Okay, it didn't
couple of
mean
times he,
transformational leader.
yeah, because I started that I'm a transformation leader and I have, I have led some of the key transformations for multiple clients across the globe. Those inputs I gave. But maybe when I think through now, I should have given him what has been the cost benefit or things like that. Maybe I spoke only about how it is helping the end customer in terms of speed, quality outcome, and how mobile way of getting the data is helping their end customers. I mean, overall, I wanted to bring in that from the state X where we were, having a lot of manual work. Now we were able to do a transformation to Martin, right? I gave two, three examples, but still somehow I felt he was not convinced. But I can show you the, summary of what is there because there was AI and I could see the outcome of that.
Just 1 second. We'll come to you, Rajesh. Yeah, anybody has any questions? Hi, Kalyan. Any questions on what we covered today? Neil, Ravikant. Okay, so there are no questions. So Rajesh, you can now share your screen.
I just have one small.
Yeah, Preeti, sorry, I missed you.
Does it do these triggers have to be negative always, or can there be positive triggers as well?
See, whenever there is a high stress situation, a pressure on the mind, the triggers are always negative. You will have an increased heart rate, your jaws may start clenching, and you may feel kind of, a feeling of inside irritation. So all these things, whatever happen, are not, these are not, not a relaxed mind. So this is a kind of a amygdala hijack.
Hmm.
And under that conditions, when such hijack happens, then you have to compose your mind. And it is said that that circuit breaker, you have to think about the circuit breaker, that you are in that complex loop. And to break this circuit, this 6 second is a timer, sort of a thing. So
Right.
that, as I said, in the last time, we have to practice that deep, long breath from the base of the spine to the top of the head, or we use the box breathing that we learned today.
Right.
So
Or we do
these
meditation every
two,
day.
huh?
Or we do meditation every day.
Yeah, but in that moment, that meditation is okay. But that hijack is impulsive. That will happen. Even if you meditate, in that moment, you can be in that state. So at that point in time, you have to do this.
Yeah. Maybe
Yeah, I
this class
think,
should have been yesterday. At least it would have helped to me answer because some of the questions I knew the better answer, but at that moment
See,
of time
we
I don't.
have talked about the pause earlier. We have talked about this deep breath from the base of the spine. That's why I'm saying what you have to do every day, whatever we are speaking, it will all become like a story. Because there are actionables in every session we do. But everyone has to keep one diary every day, that I said on the day one only. In every page, just draw a center line. On the right side, note what is the actionable that I have to do. And on the left side, note down your learnings. That is a way we learn, at least that's the way I have practiced. And I have been able to, capture habits from all these kind of sessions that we do. And because we are having these sessions every day, once you come here, try to join in 2 3 minutes prior to the class. When you are here 2 minutes prior, that 2 minutes, and we start always 2 minutes late, so you get 4 minutes. So you just scroll your, go back to your notebook. You don't have to do a revision or anything. Every day just read. And when the class ends, just read what are the actionables for today. And next morning when you wake up, just remember that today I have to practice these things.
Right.
And this tactical pause, this we have talked, I think about 3 to 4 sessions we have talked. In all of the sessions that we are talking about this pause. Rather, today I was thinking that this topic I have brought multiple times. But why I brought it was because this is very crucial and very important. Because that when amygdala hijack happens, everyone gets blinded. Even I have, been under that attack multiple times. Because when you are presenting, there are 100 people, there are 50 people, and there would be people, who will try to push balls against you. And sometimes these balls are deliberate also, just to test your resilience, your understanding, your thought process. There may be multiple reasons for that. And politics and pressure, all these things are very natural and part of the ecosystem. That's what I would say. So, but this was one interview. Forget it. What helps, Rajesh, is that not to Rajesh, I'm telling to everyone. We talked about building stories. When we talk about using that STAR framework, if you would have used STAR framework, your answer would have been flawless. I can guarantee. Think about it today and tell me next class whenever we are meeting.
Yeah.
See what happens. All these things that we are learning, this should not be a story. We have to practice. By this time, I think we have really covered a lot. We have covered a lot. And whenever we are talking, I mentioned that also, whenever you are talking about the star, now we know the finance also. Try to bring some financial angle. What it improved the IRR, it brought in the ROIC improved, the NPV we could recover. Expected was that we could recover in 2 years, but we could do in 6 months. Just add at least 1 or 2 financial dimensions also. Because now we know all these terms.
That's true.
Don't worry, these things keep on happening. Whatever is best for us, we always get. At the end of the day, always remember. And if we learn from, whatever we do, we all are on the path, I would say. Even I am on the path, learning every day. And when we learn from our mistakes, we never forget.
Got it. Is my screen visible?
Yeah, it's just coming up.
So this is the overall summary. I think score is
So
87.
how you got this?
No, there was a AI, I mean, what do you call virtual agent in the meeting. So
Acha, so
I
they
mean,
share to you also.
yeah, somehow I could open it up.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I was asking, what is that? Before the jury could join, I could see one person or not person, a bot or something which said AI, some name. So then I
So
thought,
what was
yeah,
the name of this virtual app? Fireflies, Otter?
I'm not sure.
No, it's a meeting analytics. Just it bringing out the analytics of the meeting. It's not the minute taking app.
No,
Okay,
it's not
very
a
good.
minute
Your
taking it.
score is showing quite good, huh? Meeting score 87, good. Engagement is 93. So
Yeah,
with
there
the
was a good conversation, but yeah, the sentiment and this one is somehow 80s. Not sure what is the how do they capture it? But here then okay, so this is the background and then engagement that moved from legacy to mainframe. So here there is a defining
Hmm.
transformation debate and example. The participant debated
Okay.
whether technology changes constitute transformation. Viber argued that screens alone do not change the business outcomes, while transformation requires addressing client pain points, improve speed. Yeah, I just spoke about giving the examples of some of the projects.
Okay. So
It's
something tangible could have been brought here.
yeah, correct. Maybe that's what I said, right? I should have brought in that.
Efficiency improvement. What
Effic-
actually happened? Whenever we talk, as I mentioned the example, something, tangible.
Correct, right, from the
So
cost
Rajesh, you
perspective.
were able to see this. How do you define transformation beyond technology change also? This question was appearing at that time also.
Question, no? Where are you
On
referring?
the right hand side, how do you define transformation beyond technology change? This one, the fourth one.
Yeah,
Fourth.
yeah, it was correct. His question was more or less like that. How do you define transformation beyond technology change? That's where I said it was not only the technology change, but how it enabled the end customer with speed, quality, and accessibility. Where I spoke about DBS Bank transformation we did, and some flavor from this Pfizer and Honda. Yeah. So this one,
Um,
if you were the CEO for auto company, what would be your top two priorities? Somehow
This question
there,
I told
you
day
already
before
told me.
yesterday
Yeah,
that they will ask about the industries they are in, how you can, take this to other industries.
right, right. I went on with the approach of I mean, he wanted only two steps. Then I said I will evaluate the current implementation and the landscape, and also plan for identifying the ways to improve the value of application services by accessing operation infrastructure through empathetic. So this is how I said maybe I should have been more tangible, as you said.
Hmm. You could have been.
Yeah. And then he
So,
asked me
in auto companies, how we main thing is about turnaround
turnaround, right?
time. So
Mm-hmm.
how we can work on the turnaround, how we can work more efficiently on the just-in-time inventory, because inventory is one thing which is, a cost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I should have. Solves problem. Why by computing client. So one was that client benefit, and I was able to give him here how we enabled SLA performance,
Yeah,
overall
here you have
efficiency,
given very good, you have
30%.
given all the how the improvement happened. Very good.
Here I was able to see. Then, but outline the practices and realizing, okay, here. So his question was, how do you manage how do you go about solving the problem? Maybe I need to rephrase or enhance on how can I answer this kind of question. But I mean, I brought in my experience of insisting a governance model and specifics of having a risk registry, all those. But again, he asked, how do you solve a problem? Then that's where I missed some of the things. So I said, first I will start engaging the key stakeholder, going to the specifics via collaboration and brainstorming to decide based on the impact. Not sure if he was
Yeah, I think,
satisfied with that.
yeah, it's,
I have a
yeah.
question about handling difficult colleagues. Yeah, here maybe I was more focused on I should
So root
do
cause
an,
analysis, in addition, you could have mentioned, because there are different types of problem. So if it's
yeah.
something related with stakeholder, this is the good, wonderful approach that you mentioned. But sometimes if it is like if he comes from an auto industry, then we
Ah,
need to go in for a root cause analysis.
got it. Yeah. So then how do you manage the difficult people? I was more looking at from the empathetic leadership, but I think he was not very happy when I spoke about
So
it.
whenever you have to answer such kind of a, example, managing different difficult people,
Mhm.
when we were discussing about frameworks, we spoke about this, that you have to always take an example. Like if somebody asks me, how do you manage difficult people? So
Mm.
managing different difficult people is a kind of a skill. So I'll just like to give you an example in a, very recent example. In my team, we recently hired a manager, and
Mm.
I found that he was not performing well. His turnaround time from PR to PO was dropping by from 90% to 80%. and number of PRs he handled, which are the key KPIs, were decreasing. So I called him along with the category manager. I showed
Mm.
him the data. I showed him the statistics that this is your response. This is how your statistics are moving, and with this, we will not be able to deal with this. Do you have any personal challenge or a problem at home? So he said no, no. Then we said that okay, what is the challenge that you are facing? So he mentioned that yes, I am not able to understand the technicalities of the purchase request. So through because of that, I am not able to engage well with the vendors, and this is impacting my decision. So we helped him, made a buddy for him. So with that buddy, who was an earlier experienced person in the team, and he had the experience of handling all kinds of PR. And I made a framework that, every week his direct boss has to review his progress, and every 2 weeks I would review the progress. And after 2 weeks, when I reviewed the progress, his stat had improved, his engagement was better, his number of PRs that he was handled improved, because the buddy and the direct reporting structure, and then me taking a personal, the influence on that becoming directly attached, understanding the problem and trying to bring us resolution to that.
Understand. Yeah.
So just give an example what you did.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I tried to give an example, but maybe he was more focused on empathy would not work, like what he has mentioned here. That empathy must be supplemented with deliverables or at risk. Uh,
Yes, that's true. Empathy must be supplemented with firmer actions when deliverables are at risk. So we are measuring the KPIs, that the number of PRs handled and the turnaround time. If the I would give you another example. One of the girl was there earlier in my team, and same thing happened with her also. Her
hmm,
scores dropped, and then I called her also along with her boss, category manager, and then we were reviewing. All review should be data backed, and then I checked with her, do you have any challenge or any understanding issue or anything? No, there was no such issue, because she has been in the system for long. And then we did a similar framework, monitoring, and monitoring by the direct boss. Then I will monitor every 2 weeks. But when I called her after 2 weeks, there was no change in the performance. Rather, she has started coming late as well. Then
hmm,
after 2 weeks, we told her strategically that you get another 2 weeks to improve your performance. Otherwise, please find a job.
got it. Hmm,
And then we had to severtize. So the deliverables have to improve. When they did not improve, we were ruthless. She had to go means she had to go.
hmm, got it.
But, is there no performance improvement system which runs for 3 months or something like that? I mean, I'm asking to Rajesh.
It all depends.
Yeah, just
Hmm. We
based on,
put
I mean,
people on PIPS.
yeah, PIPI. Maybe I should have brought in, but at that point of time, yeah, I could. I mean, maybe
See,
my focus was more. Mhm.
see, what I did is it's an honest conversation of fitment, right? So if you keep aside the egos, if you keep aside all the noise, so this is what I did. So I would have the honest conversation and clearly understand the fitment, right? So if the point is, if the fitment is not there, then
Mhm.
the team suffers, the project suffers, and the individual also suffers. So bringing that sort of an understanding is important, and maybe there are other programs or other teams where this individual probably will be a good fit. And I have done that. So I have helped in sort of finding out teams and projects where he would be a fit. It's a matter of, that fitment, right? So that's key,
Yeah, that can be also an approach.
right? So, I mean,
But if there are, old people who have been working long and suddenly their performance drops, I have seen, people sometimes they lose interest in work and maybe, I don't know, they get interested in some other things. And
yeah,
that,
so you have to balance everything, right? I mean,
yeah.
you are answerable, so you have to clearly provide the way forward to your management, right? And that could be like Preeti said or Neil said, in the form of a PIP or uh, in the form of some corrective actions, right? So if none of those things are working out, then it has to be transparent. My way of doing it is keeping it transparent, right? So
Yeah, it has to be 100% transparent. And data has to speak. You don't have to speak.
yeah,
Good.
okay.
So after now, what did this say to you, Rajesh, after your interview?
Yeah, that's what the conversation ended. That empathetic is not the only thing you need to be. That's what the closing statement was, and then I just pinged the coordinator, and she said we will provide an update. And then
Okay. Any update you got, Kalyan?
Nothing.
Okay. I think they'll take some time to compile the results and everything.
But this AI tool, automatically gives you some. This AI tool, it's giving some statistics
So
already.
you got, Kalyan, some AI tool was used for your.
Nothing. I did not see anything like that. Did you
Maybe.
have
So
this from the
you took
previous
a
example?
screenshot or what, Rajesh?
No, after finishing the meeting, automatically I got a link.
Acha,
You click
okay,
on.
okay, I
Yes,
got it, got
he's
it.
able to scroll it
Ah,
also.
hmm?
Yeah.
He is
Yeah,
able to scroll it also. So it's
You got a link meaning email, is it? You got a link in email?
What happens like in Teams call and all?
Meeting.
That's
If
a
you use a co-pilot, the like facilitator notes come, na? So they may have you for interviews,
Introduced.
you can use an analytics tool is there.
No, but
So
then see, if you're an outsider, the chat automatically sort of evicts you right after the call ends. So I was looking at my team chats. I don't find that chat at all.
Yeah,
It disappeared. I don't
got
see
it, got
that.
it. It's
maybe
maybe an
he,
external plugin. I
yeah,
think I
it would have,
already have that.
correct.
Already have
Maybe the
Oh
permission given was
man.
to be shared to all by mistake.
it
ha,
is shared by mistake. Maybe.
right.
Yeah. It was the permission given was shared to all. Rajesh, I've just sent one answer to you in the chat also.
Thank you,
Yeah.
ma'am.
actually it looks more like a transcript.
Yeah, complete transcript.
Yeah.
It has analyzed from the transcript.
No, yeah, Teams has this. I mean, I've seen this where it sort of, provides the
Transcripts.
feedback, right? No. It reads your agenda and then it says that, you have covered first 2 points in your agenda. You have 5 minutes left. You put the third point in the agenda, right?
Yeah,
And
in the Teams. Yeah.
Teams. Okay, so I've seen that.
Yeah,
Uh,
it happens.
that is what I think you were also showing, Rajesh. Okay, good stuff. Okay, congrats.
Chalo, good. Let's
Thank you.
hope for
Thank
the
you.
best.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wishes.
But everyone, I would say, build your star stories, at least your transformation and the one or two, three, at least which you want to showcase everywhere, na? Please build them for your own self. And maybe someday we can hear.
And also, all of you should learn to use a ChatGPT model parallelly when the meeting is going on. Just in case you do not know the answer,
No,
if you
no,
want,
no, no, no. Please,
why?
no. No,
Why
no.
no? In the world of AI, if you don't use it properly, what
Nahi,
the
nahi.
fun
But
of it?
when a meeting is going, I would not.
Nobody will ever know. If you're
People come
smart
to
enough,
know,
nobody.
and that is, at least when I take interviews
If
and I
he's
find you
prompted
can,
twice and thrice that it's not coming, it's
what?
always better to, if he was prompted twice that the
You can't
answer
type
is
now
not.
when you are,
You don't
speaking.
have to type. It's an auto type. That's what I'm trying to say. When you were talking, I did not type anything. I just put the question. I just put it on the voice. Simple. And it
Sir,
automatically
I think
gave me the
you're talking
answer.
about something like that Whisper AI or something, I think, which is
No, I
It's
don't have
chat
Whisper AI.
GPT. Chat GPT has
ChatGPT
that
has a speaker mode.
speaker mode. Yeah, you can
It
converse
has
and
a
it will.
speaker mode. You just switch it on, whatever meeting is going on, it will keep on typing that. And if you already give it a prompt before the meeting saying that I might need an answer immediately, it will keep on giving you the answer whether you read it or not. And when you need it, it is right in front of your eyes. Nobody can ever get to know. I have done it.
wow.
You should be smart enough. When I talk to all senior folks, I don't know technically anything, but I answer them everything. I can simply just read and give a gist of it. Yeah, you don't need to speak everything. You can just say this much is what I'm understanding. As simple as that.
No.
But
I mean,
I
see,
believe that,
ideally,
whatever
I
we
know
know,
you
we
can
should
believe
speak that.
whatever, but when it is a winning moment and you don't want to lose it, then you have to win it by hook
And
or crook.
nahi,
It is a war. Everything is fair.
no. I don't believe.
I mean, being honest is good, but sometimes being smart is always, that's what you want, smart people in the office. You don't want honest people in the office. Honest should be there. I'm not saying you should not be honest. That is also honesty when you're speaking something that you don't know it, but you're trying to find it. You're quick enough to find it. You're smart enough to find it.
I
It will
mean,
just give you bullet points. The prompt is not to give you a complete answer. The prompt is to give you 3 points for everything. If for every question that's being asked, you know how to touch those 3 points, star, whatever method, whatever it be. Sometimes your mind can get frozen. It's not that you don't know the answer. It is just that you freeze in a time of an interview.
Then you use that tactical pause. Use that breath.
I agree, Hema. But sometimes when tactical pause also doesn't work, then something should work. No.
I
Being
think Dr. Hema, what she's saying is, see, I've heard this. I've heard this, I think, in a different context. So when you have sort of worked with either Claude or ChatGPT, right, over a period of time, it understands your psyche, right? And and then let's say when you ask it a question, right? So it answers as if it is answering you. You have asked the question, right? Yeah, but again,
Chalo, try it. If you try, you guys try it and just tell me the
if
feedback,
you
how it
if
so
goes.
your prompt says, I am in an interview and I need quick answers which will make me win, and I need just 2 bullet points or 3 bullet points, so that it doesn't keep on typing and you don't keep on reading. You don't have time to read. You need just hints and prompts. So you are prompting it to give you prompting answer. Simple. It will give you 3 words, 5 words, 7 words. That's it. It won't even look like reading because you're not reading. You're basically understanding the prompt and speaking naturally yourself.
But here,
Yeah.
what will he do when they are talking about transformation? What can the Chat GPT provide? Because
Let's try.
that
Do you
project
want?
only
Do you want me
if
to?
it's my project, only I have done. So I know my efficiencies. I know what is the before after
So
state.
he was not supposed to speak in any other's efficiency. He was able to speak in his capacity. He's
no,
given the freedom. Nobody is
okay.
forcing
So
him to speak in the boss's or the interviewer's capacity. You have to speak in your capacity. If you're asking me a question and I'm smart enough to answer it in my capacity, also I win. Divek is raising a hand. I want Divek to speak. Yep.
I think this might not work because if there is AI involved, it will get to know that you are open some other browser, right?
In
no.
meetings, it is
Okay. So
never known.
okay. See.
Acha, chalo, chodo.
My
Anyway, we'll not.
philosophy.
You can always do it on a phone if you don't want to open it on your
Gitanjali ji,
laptop.
hold on one
Hmm.
second. So, see, my philosophy is, so we used to have the
Be
concept of,
honest and do it. Finish it off.
no. We used to have the concept of open book exams back in the day, right?
Yeah.
So the objective or the intention is to ensure that the student is successful and is able to answer the questions, right? We used to have those open back in the day. I did that.
No,
Now,
we also had all
ideally,
open book, but it was announced prior, this is an open book exam.
yeah.
But interviews are not open book exams.
Right. See.
This is my belief.
So what happens is, if let's say this is what happens, there's going to be a follow-up question. there's going to be, a twister in that question, right? Now, if you're not able to sort of, connect those dots, right? If he's a smart interviewer, he'll be able to pick it up. He'll pick it up, and then he say that.
And I would tell you, I have rejected multiple candidates. I found, they were reading. And it was quite
because you
obvious.
should never read. That's what I told.
Because once you look at the screen, your eyes tell that, you are reading a bullet or you are reading a complete answer. It shows when you are speaking, only two people are there. When there is, on the screen, there are multiple people. Maybe you don't come to know who is reading, who is not reading. But if there are only two people and one is speaking, it becomes very, very obvious. At least
Okay,
I have been able to, figure out
don't
multiple
try.
people. No, no, you look at it, if you are very adept, then maybe you can. Because I
Okay,
don't
leave
think
it.
normally people are adept. At least
Hmm.
if you tell me, I cannot. If I am talking to anyone, I cannot even look if something is there on my screen. Also, I will not be able to read it from there. If somebody writes and give me a paper, I can't read from that. I have to produce from my mind only. I am very sure.
Exactly.
नहीं नहीं it's okay. ठीक है. Agreed.
And
The
sometimes, yeah, like as Divya said, screen screen monitoring also. Some people, I don't know, they may have some AI tools to check what is there on your screen. And at senior leadership level, more than knowing the answer, it's your authenticity
How do you
and your
explain?
acknowledgement that you do
Okay.
not know. Nobody knows everything. Doesn't matter.
अच्छा.
Doesn't matter you win or lose. It's immaterial. There are
Okay.
multiple, there will be multiple opportunities.
हाँ ठीक है.
you could also be, I mean, you may give out, if you're doing this online, in case the next thing or when you close, the closing interview could be one-on-one. And there, if you falter, then that difference will be very obvious.
Okay.
I mean, there is a lot of AI tools which are there, which are like how you told, like it can even bypass sometimes the AI softwares of the companies. Like I've not used any, but I've seen some on the YouTube. Like there is one Parakeet AI. So that is a AI software which helps in the interview. Like it's kind of puts like a transcript on the on your screen, but like Himaji said, it will show like a reading or some bullet points kind of thing.
See what works with your philosophy, your mindset, your thought process. End of the day, if you are comfortable, go ahead. But if you don't feel comfortable, leave it. Because, each one individual will have a different philosophy. So, what matches with your philosophy, go ahead.
Right.
ठीक है. It's okay. I was just kind of being too aggressive. Sorry.
Hmm.
Life is
But
too
he,
big, यार. ये छोटी छोटी
I
चीजों
know.
में
I mean, it's
क्या
always
फर्क
better to
पड़ता है
win
यार,
some
एक
and
मिला
lose
नहीं मिला.
some on the way.
Multiple
Perfectly
things will
fine.
come.
Correct, correct.
We'll get a better thing.
Correct,
अपने
correct.
वैल्यूज को क्यों खराब करना है for a
ये भी
small.
बात सही. You're right.
but is this score okay? I mean, I tried to use ChatGPT
It's
and it said
wonderful. बढ़िया आपका score. Put this, analysis onto ChatGPT and check.
हाँ.
अरे 80, 90 everywhere it's
अरे
showing.
80, 90 बहुत अच्छे हैं. I mean, you will be selected. Don't worry.
Thank
नहीं
you,
हुआ,
thank you.
अगर नहीं आता ना, then also be happy यार. They are not worth me.
अरे नहीं, उसमें कौन सी जॉब थी वैसे भी.
नहीं
This is
नहीं,
just.
मतलब obviously ना, मतलब this award is also this is too
So,
low for a people
There is
looking for
always
a
another
person like
award
that.
waiting instead of thinking low and all. There's always a second chance, and Himaji, you will
Uh,
bring something, another one.
sure. Thank you,
है
thank
ना?
you, ma'am.
Keep trying for it.
Good.
Okay, 10:30.
चलिए, good,
Mm.
good, good. Build your,
Some
stories if you haven't yet. I'll tell you this. These are
Yes, sir.
miraculous. And
Acha, before we
when
all
do
go, I
we
need
build
to
our
talk.
stories? Like for every PMP, before the PMP, performance appraisal, we write all those things. Only in an Excel file, if you just keep a track of it. And just before any interview, any performance appraisal or anything, just read through that, because we also forget what we have done throughout the year. Just keep on building.
Okay.
ठीक है, चलिए, good. Okay, good night everyone. Have a
Thank
wonderful
you. Good
weekend.
night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Okay, rest
Good
of
night.
you stay here.
Okay.
One is we all had been doing transformational meditation. I think, Rajesh, you were part of many transformational meditations. Observing a pause was taught in almost all of them. Now, I think we need to start revising transformational meditations again, because I feel that you're all forgetting. Whatever Himaji taught, executive presence mein, it was all taught in many, every day we were doing transformational meditations, and it was taught in all of them. Another thing is that I want all of you come for morning meditation. Try as much as possible. Don't miss that. It brings in a lot of balance in you, a lot of balance. No matter whatever may break down, you will still be able to stand up. It gives you so much of poise in yourself, that that God is holding your hand. For a fraction of minute, think that I'm always held by God's hand. You will automatically bombard with everything. Whenever I have been in, especially as an executive assistant, as a chief of staff, as when you are assisting the CEOs, we are always put into a situation where we really don't know what we will do. It is the toughest time of our life when suddenly he comes in within fraction of minutes, he wants something. But just that because of this meditation, I've survived like crazy every time. Every time. No matter what happens, even if he wants the world from you, I will be able to give that world in 5 minutes. By the time he's starting a meeting, before that, everything will be there. And how it is there, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Divine's hand, if you are meditating regularly, it will be there. It will be all the people around you, the whole universe comes and helps you. Everybody. All the other EAs in my office used to work 2 more hours after the bosses would have gone, and I could have always left 1 hour earlier than the boss. My boss would say, your job is done, you leave. I mean, I had such bosses in my life because I was always overproducing. Whatever they needed, I was able to be faster than they needed. And I was they were so confident that even if I am at home and they would call me, I will be able to give them an answer immediately. I don't need to be physically in office to do that. What I'm trying is your presence of mind becomes so better that even if so many problems fall at you immediately also, you will have so much of calm that you will sail through each and every bit. Meditation helps you a lot. No matter what happens, don't miss it. I mean, I have been practicing it for 15 years and I've seen a life. And I can tell you, nothing on this earth was unsolved. So, all right.
Sure.
See you all at 5:45.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.